Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and as you can see, we were recently issued a brand new patrol vehicle in the form of a BMW X6M with over 500 horsepower. Now, we've got the SRPD design on this thing, we've got the light bar up top, and I also just received word that apparently someone, not gonna name any names, was being an absolute maniac on the highway, and apparently went off the road and is now in the woods or something, but I think we need to go and check it out and see what's been going on. Now, supposedly, I don't know if they were by themselves or if there was, like, some street racing going on back and forth up and down the highway, but once again, we're gonna have to go find out. Come on! Use that all-wheel drive that they gave you for a reason. You need the launch mode sometimes. Oh boy. Now, the cool thing about this vehicle is that when you're actually driving it around earlier on during the day, don't know what that was, it got caught on the ground somehow, but when you're driving it around earlier during the day in the game or at night, the dash is actually fully backlit. Now, the interior on this thing, wild. Absolutely wild. Although I would kind of like to see, like, if we are going to use this thing as a patrol vehicle, I would love to see, like, a police computer in here. That would be really freaking cool. We do have beans on the dash, though. All right, let's go ahead and merge onto the highway. Make sure that, well, everybody that may or may not be on their way through knows that we're coming. It's super stable, though. Like, this thing is insanely stable to drive. The only thing is oh, there it goes. It finally shifted into 6th gear. It's quick once it shifts into 6th gear, but it is not in any way, shape, or form, like, it does not, oh my god. Alright, thank you. I'd rather not have to replace this patrol car, like, immediately. That would be grand if I didn't have to immediately replace this patrol car. What in the heck happened here? Somebody ran off the road. I was not informed of this. I was not informed of this whatsoever. Alright, what are we looking at? Oh. This is supposedly close to where we... Oh, there it is. Yep, there's the situation. Oh, God, it's this guy again. Bro. We've had so many reports of this guy being an absolute lunatic on the highway. Seriously. He's been going back and forth all the freaking time. You, what do you have to say for yourself? Literally, we've gotten so many calls about you, it's not even funny. Nothing? You've literally got nothing to say. Look at the front end of your car. It's ruined. It's absolutely and entirely ruined. I need to make sure that I get some photos of this, because just in case anybody tries to dispute what was going on, you're getting, yeah, we're taking photos for proof. God, that thing really is in a tree, isn't it? It is 100% in an actual tree. I do have to tell you, though, the interesting thing is, this thing, while it may not be the absolute fastest thing on the planet, it is a lot quicker than I thought it would be, and I am sure glad that we went with the highest speed possible in terms of, like, the engine and the transmission, because on a map like highway hauling, you sure do need it. Now, one of the other things that I will say about this thing, and you know what, we're gonna go ahead and turn the lights off. We're gonna let the tow truck come and get you, and we're gonna go back to our other patrols. But I gotta say, one of the most interesting things about this vehicle is the fact that you can totally roleplay out an actual patrol scenario with your friends on the highway hauling map. I mean, that would be so wild to do. It would be absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and make our way back around to the gas station and get set up for another round of patrolling further up the highway. Make sure nobody's coming. But it really does suit that realistic RP style of gameplay very, very nicely, even with the highest power level engine. And on a map like highway hauling, you need every last ounce of that power. You really, really do. I mean, it definitely gives you all the acceleration that you might need to deal with vehicles that might be, well, trying to escape from you. Now, the Yeetmobile with the 1600 horsepower engine, dang, the tow truck hasn't even gotten there yet. Well, he must be busy. We'll see what happens. We'll see how long it takes for the tow truck to actually pick him up. But no, let's go ahead and go into the gas station, get this thing all refueled, get some, you know, whatever supplies we may need. Pull right on in. There we go. Now, let's see. Yeah, we only really need 2 gallons of fuel, and then from there, we're good. I do have a little bit of bumper damage, though, and I am a little bit unhappy about that. Like, I was hoping to keep this thing somewhat clean, but let's make our way back to the garage now and see if we can get that damage repaired, and I'll go ahead and walk you guys through some of the other customization options that are featured on this BMW X6M. Now, speed limit 55, huh? What are we doing right now? See, I don't know if that speedometer is... Well, no, that's got to be in miles per hour because it wouldn't top out at 200 if it was in kph. Whoa! Stop! Thank you. I will say, when this thing goes... I mean, when it goes sideways, it freaking goes. It's kind of tricky to, like, gather it back up because of the fact that the steering speed is a little slow. And I've got to say that with the steering speed being, just a touch slow, I feel like it could use to be quickened a little bit. Not saying it's bad, but, like, you definitely have to get used to it. It's almost like when you get into a vehicle like this, you would almost automatically assume that it's going to drive like a car and less like a truck. And it does drive like a car in almost every way except for the steering speed, which is a little bit strange, a little bit odd, but it's just one of those fine details, you know? I love the interior, though. I cannot get over how gorgeous the interior on this thing is. Turn. There we go. Okay, I'm starting to get used to it a little bit more. You have to... Whoa! Okay. Holy crap. That was... that was full-on Tokyo Drifto back down the hill. What do y'all think you're doing, huh? What do y'all think you're doing? Literally just hanging out around the freaking garage? Yeah? Well, you haven't done anything yet, but I'm on to y'all. If I see y'all leave the pavement or doing any unauthorized off-roading, there will be tickets involved. Absolutely. All right, let's go inside at the garage and see what we can do in terms of customization. Ow. Well, that went well. Chief's not going to be happy about that, I don't think. All right, back into the garage. Now, in terms of customization options, you have a N57D30, which is a 306 horsepower diesel engine. You also have a N63B44, which is a 4.4-liter, 8-cylinder gas engine. And then you have the S63, which is going to be your 555 horsepower gas engine as well, which is what we have in this thing at the present moment in time. Gearbox-wise, we got balanced, highway, and off-road. I decided to throw the highway gearbox in this thing because it really seems like it suits the scenario way better than any other transmission would. You also have an OEM lifted suspension, and I feel like in some respects that one would probably be the better one to go with if you want to avoid unnecessary damage from like scraping the front bumper on like a curb or something like that. But I just feel like it looks so much better in the lower suspension, and I think that that really suits a map like highway hauling better. Now, in terms of wheel and tire packages, you have these X6 wheels. You also have 1 Series wheels, and then you have BFG KO2s on a set of XD wheels, just in case you need to do a little bit of, I guess, off-road patrolling, if that's going to be a thing. Now, let's go ahead and actually throw those on there because I'm curious, and now we're going to go with the lifted suspension. I do have the autonomous extended scout winch, and in terms of visual stuff, you have the boot supplies, which is essentially extra spares and fuel. And then trailer hitch, you can throw a trailer hitch on the back in case you want to do some objective-based gameplay with this vehicle. And plates-wise, you actually have a pretty good selection of plates here, like really for whatever approach you want to take. The light bar is removable if you want to make this thing a little bit more of either an undercover vehicle or just a kind of general traffic vehicle. And then wheels-wise, these you can actually change the color of. Oh, that's really cool. I dig that. I like the chrome blue lip. And then as far as designs go, you have a couple of different variants of the same SnowRunner PD design, and you really can go whatever way you'd like with it, or you can go with any of your general assortment of standard colors. Like I said, I really do prefer this particular design that I have on it right now, but once again, I mean, car color is completely and totally up to you. You know, completely totally up to personal choice. So you can go whichever way you want on that. Now, in terms of dash add-ons, you've got just about whatever you might want. I mean, Bubble Dart, you've got all the GGMS buffs, you've got, like, everything from the anime characters to the freaking, the default stuff like beans, and then accessories-wise, you also have, like, the cards that can hang from the mirror, and also, I'm sure that the hanging buffs by GGMS, if I had them turned on, I'm sure they would work with this vehicle as well. So now, let's give this thing a quick off-road test and see what it's like to drive with the lifted suspension and these BFG KO2s. It's also decided to turn into a rainstorm out here. Not entirely sure why. Apparently that's a thing. But I need to find some dirt. And not just the dirt at the side of the road. Like, I need to find some actual legitimate dirt and see what this thing feels like once you're really getting after it on a dirt road. Whoa! It does get a little bit hairy, like, when it shifts on power on pavement. It does kind of, like, walk around a little bit, but once you get used to the way it moves around, it's definitely not a big deal. Do want to make sure I have my headlights on. Whoa! I like using the interior view in this thing. It's really satisfying. Like, with an interior view that looks this, like, detailed, it's super satisfying to use. All right, let's go ahead and make a quick left right here. Oh, God. Don't worry about it. I spun out and took out a stop sign, but it's fine. There's no actual visual damage on the thing, so I'm not worried about it. I'm absolutely not worried about it at all. I don't know why we have our lights on right now. It's not like we're going to, like, any kind of call or doing any specific kind of response, but, you know, don't worry about it. Say okay. I do have to tell y'all, though, that the grip that this thing has on dirt is awesome. Wow, I braked way earlier than I needed to back there. Get back on the main road. I threw it back in the eye. Come on. Don't worry about that. It was fine. It was absolutely 100% fine. Nothing out of the ordinary occurred whatsoever. Oh, God. Almost drove off the road again. But again, don't worry about it. It's A-okay. Like, you've got to realize that, like, most vehicles are going to have way longer braking distances than something like this. And when I thought I was going to have to brake for that corner, it was way earlier than I actually had to. Let's see. All right, brake really late and then turn. Yeah, all it does is it'll shift down on its own. Then you go ahead and make the turn, and then you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and turn my lights back off again because I don't really need them right now. But holy smokes, what an absolute beast of a little rig. It's so fun to drive. I wish it was just a hair faster, but it's just like a minor thing on my end, you know what I mean? All right, let's head down here towards the, towards the mud bog. And for a little bit more of an extreme test, let's see what this thing does when you actually show it some proper mud. I'm very curious to see what ends up happening. No, I know that I've got the highway gearbox in it, but, I'm not worried about it. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go full send. Let's go. Well, that didn't take very long, did it? We're not really all that far out into the mud, are we? Yeah, I mean, we kind of got it bottomed out. Oh, wait, maybe we were just lodged on the bumper. Okay, never mind. I mean, I'm not that against it, right? You know, I'm not necessarily, like, that against bringing something like this out here, but, like, I thought it was actually legitimately stuck. Turns out it was just wedged on the bumper because the bumper does hang fairly low, which makes sense. It's not, you know, some lifted off-road pickup truck. It is legitimately like a BMW SUV. But even though we're going really, really slow out here in the mud, I'm really impressed at the traction it has. I didn't think it was even going to be able to drive halfway through an area like this, let alone, you know, potentially all the way across it. I mean, if this thing makes it all the way to the other end of the mud bog, I will be extremely, extremely impressed. I think it all depends on... Are you caught in a bush? Bruh. This thing is actually legitimately caught in a bush. Why? Just SnowRunner things, I guess. It's fine. That bush is literally trying to hold on to us. It's either that or this thing is actually finally stuck. No, it was the bush trying to hold on to us. Holy smokes! I did not realize the bushes were that freaking strong. That is ridiculous, and I don't know why that ended up being a thing. I have absolutely no idea why that ended up being a thing. Yikes. Let me make my way just a little bit further on. And yeah, oh my god, dude. At this point, I have absolutely no doubt that it would make it to the other end, provided that we don't run into any random bushes that decide to grab our vehicle and hold on to it. But aside from that, this thing actually is really fun to drive, it's really fun to use, and it also definitely outdid my expectations in almost all categories. I mean, except, like, minus top speed, but, I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm literally all about just sending stuff at full speed, and so I feel like, of course I'm gonna want more speed out of something like this. But then again, at the end of the day, I think it's a really fun vehicle to use, and I definitely think that if you guys are on PC and you have the opportunity to get your hands on this thing, definitely check it out. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.